All right, we are now recording. I think I learned something interesting yesterday. I had these, you can see I've done these big blackout areas, and this one's completely black. This is just an ink fill. But for these, I use the dark. It's not quite the blowout, but it's the. Let me show you which shader it is. Beat tone shaders. Grady dot shaders, 45 degrees dark. Now there's one that goes even darker called the 45 degrees blowout, but the one that's kind of in the middle there. Let me turn the pencil layer off. You can see it goes almost to black. Well, anyways, on this one I decided, okay, I want to account for my lines, so I actually did it with the lighter one first to create a gradient, and then I went over it again with the darker one, and it gives you this really nice textured background. So almost like there's something back behind him. And then, just as an added bonus, I had the light one still, and I did a little bit of the edges of these focus lines, and that came out good as well. So I'm pretty proud of that. I got one panel left on page 2. Put it on inking. And we're not going to do anything with tones to begin. We're just going to start with ink. And normally I talk about throwing a line. Like that's when you're throwing a line. On Rabbit Fighters, because he's furry, I think it's okay to make the line furry, a little bit furry. In order to capture the texture. One of his shoulders, it's this shoulder. He's got this toga on. I'm actually basing the toga on Perseus from Clash of the Titans. The 80s, I think it's George Hamlin. Harry Hamlin? Playing that part. The last real Ray Harryhausen film, right? I'm sure I captured that hand right. I probably could have left this finger. If you can see my hand. And now it looks too long. I think what has to happen, yeah, So they've got to be around there. So let's see what it looks like without the pencils. That looks okay. A little bit off. I think my fingers aren't big enough. But at least I know they end in the right place. Making your fingers too long is a noob mistake. And yet, it's the kind of mistake I make all the time. Which goes to show you, I'm still kind of a noob. I think that's okay though. This is a metal texture. Squiggle. And then there's a bit of cloth. Now I wonder if this whole hand, if I pick it up and relocate it, it's even better there. I think that's better. Yeah. Don't be afraid to make adjustments like that. As long as you're not stretching things or tilting them, you can kind of do that. If you do stretch something or tilt it, you're likely to displace some of the pixels and you get artifacting, which is real obvious. I'll show you an example. If you have a line that looks like this, and you change it, it'll start to get fuzzy, especially if you move it. See, it's now got fuzzy edges compared to the sharp edges. You can, if you choose bicubic, that'll minimize that effect. Let's leave bicubic on. But you'll notice my pixels are still sharp. Although I don't know what that is, a little extra line. If you're using vectors, you won't have this problem, but you'll have another problem. It's way worse. And that problem is that you use vectors. Vector art looks unreal to me. It looks very digital. Some people love it though. I think the reason the hand was so long was because it was hiding behind the sword hilt. And I guess I got so excited to draw the sword hilt. I'm looking at the sword, and I think I've screwed up on it. We're seeing the underside of the hilt, and we're seeing this is how it should look right here. Like this angle has to match this angle. And actually, we can even black out this area under here. Just completely black it out. Alright. I know from experience that this is an extremely tough angle to draw, so I'm going to take it easy and I do it. Thin lines. It's like sword blades, like the curves that go in a sword blade are actually very tough. Because there's a subtle angle that goes in there, or a subtle curve. It's a shallow curve. In this case, this is called a leaf blade, or a Xiphos sword. He's always had either, originally I just called it a gladius. There's all kinds of gladiuses, which is like a Roman sword. And you can tell, obviously, I didn't get it exactly right. Yeah. Here's a trick I learned from Dick Giordano. Well, at least reading his comics. Put some lines here. And that's our metal texture, right? Even put the sparkle in there. So around the last live stream I did, Drive-In Saturday, we were talking about Alphonse Dunn, and this is one of the Alphonse Dunn tips that I think is really good. I'm going to show it to you right here. And that is, if you have a texture, in this case the texture is fur, right? So there's a texture, just like that. And you have shadow. The shadow is the texture, so if we want to shadow this area, make sure you just used the texture. I don't think I did it very good there. I think it would have to be like that. Maybe down here. Same on the hand. All right. Okay, you can see we've got the archways behind them still. So whatever we do, we're going to do some of that trick later on. But I gotta do Rabbit Fighter's head here. Here's something I didn't get until just recently. I thought the important corner of the eye was the inner corner, but it's not. It's the outer corner. If you just leave the outer corner, it reads as a cartoon eye much better. There's this blind eye. There's the under chin shadow. Another thing I learned from is, and I never really read much of these, although you wouldn't know, was Stan Sakai's Usagi Yojimbo. Plenty to learn in there. Let's do the ears. These ears are back. In fact, one of the things I think I'm going to start doing is, I think for some battle that he's got going on, he's going to tie his ears together at the top, like Usagi. And I'm going to have him say, I saw a guy in a comic book do this once. Alright, now, this is all good. I'm looking at my background, I'm not 100% happy with it, and the reason why is these arches are too small. So let's grab our arches. We're going to stretch them out. Whoops. Hey. Stretch them out this way. Distort. I think it's closer to that, right? Maybe it's like that. And there's, let's take a look at this. Okay, these are kind of high up. Okay. Another thing is, I like the bottom of that ear more than I like the bottom of this ear. So let's maybe think about the bottom of the ears here. I think that's nicer. Something like that. So let's pretty good. Okay. There's that edge. Put it like right there. There we go. There's our archway. I think at this point we can successfully remove our pencil layer and start thinking about how we're going to decorate. The stone arches have this sort of border, I guess we could call it. Throw them right in there. I don't crowdfund. Let's see, here we go. That looks okay. Or the ear is bothering me. Technically, there's a line back here. We could even black this part out. Well, I don't know if we black it out. Now, I think the curtains would be like from here to there. Same here on this side. Let's put it on another layer just to be on the safe side. Oops, maybe not. Some is right here. I think we just have to halo him out. The only way to break him free is we can give him stronger line weights. Something like that. And then there's these other background elements. They're like these masks. They're in between the columns. We need some kind of action line. How about that? All right. Yeah, how do we do these masks? It looks cross-eyed because of this. taking a look at the masks. They're kind of sad masks. There's kind of this border around them. Let's put it over here on layer 13. There's the nose. And the nose. This will mostly get covered up by the speech bubbles. That's a nose. All right. Well, we're not done. I've still got to do plenty of shading and texturing, but I think we'll leave that for another time. This is a stone texture, so we can put some stipple in there. Put stipple on the curtains too, but it's much smaller to show that it's a different texture. We can also put some cracks. Are those cracks? Maybe those are like the veins of the granite. Or whatever stone, marble, you know, whatever that it's being used to build these things. Yes, it doesn't take much. I think we're just going to leave it at that. Please like, follow, and subscribe, and we're going to finish this page. I don't have the next page even started yet, so I'm going to have to start the next page. Oops. Page 3. I've got like 5 pages sort of outlined. We're hoping to get 16. That's my standard. Page 1. Page 2. And I will see you later. All right. Talk to you later.